Hey, welcome back, you guys. So I've had some requests to do Salisbury steak, so I'm going to do an old-fashioned Salisbury steak, and it's not a difficult recipe. We're going to get going on that right now. So we're going to start off with about 1.5 pounds of regular ground beef, and it's 80-20 ground beef. 1.5 pounds of 80-20 ground beef in that bowl. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take an onion and we're going to slice up an onion. Now you can use however much onion you want or no onion at all. It's up to you. So that's about how much onion I have. Like I said, it's half of a large onion. And I just put it right in with the ground beef. And I don't generally measure, so I'm trying to measure for you as I go so that you're not scratching your head going, no, but she didn't measure that. I don't know how much to put in. So I'm going to try my best to do that as I go for you. Then we're going to put in some breadcrumbs, and I just have some regular toasted breadcrumbs. I don't have any seasoned ones, but that's okay because I'm going to season it. Just like that. And then we're going to put some garlic, a good healthy teaspoon of garlic. Okay. We're going to put some stone ground mustard in this next. That's probably about 2 tablespoons that I put in there. Okay. Then we got the good old W sauce, the Worcestershire. Shake that up a little bit. And I'm putting about a teaspoon of Worcestershire in there. Just enough, but not too much. Ketchup. We need a little bit of ketchup. Not a ton, but a little. So we're going to put about 3 tablespoons of ketchup in there. Next. Oh yes, you knew it was coming, right? So we have about a teaspoon of Lowry seasoning. I'm going to use a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder just to make sure that we get that good onion flavor. And I've got my parsley. This is that freeze-dried parsley that's so good. So I'm going to go ahead and put about a tablespoon of parsley in there. Okay. Now to top that off with, so I'm going to put 2 eggs in this. Somebody said, oh, that looks like you're making meatloaf. Well, in a way it does, kind of. It's not exactly the way I make meatloaf, but Salisbury steak has a distinct texture and flavor all its own. Now remember, guys, as we're pulling this together, be gentle and just kind of lightly incorporate your ingredients. Don't want to get too crazy with over mixing, because that's when you get that really dense thing on the hamburger, and it's just not what people are looking for. Oh, you know, I forgot to put black pepper in here. Hang on one second, let me grab the black pepper. Okay, let's get some black pepper in here because, well, you gotta have black pepper. And I'm probably putting about a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper in here. If you like your food just a little spicier, you could add pepper flakes to this, and that would be really, really delicious too. We're going with just the good old regular recipe today. Now that we've got it mixed in, we're going to form some patties, and then we're going to take it over to the stove, and we are going to cook those. And we're going to take them really gently and form our patties. I'm just going to kind of make them a little bit oblong shape. And I want to try to keep them about 3/4 of an inch to an inch in thickness. So that's about the size I'm going with, and I kind of have a small hand, so I'd say it's about 4 inches long by, I don't know, 2 inches wide. There again, see, I just gently took, I wanted to say a glob. I just gently took a handful of my mixture, and I'm just kind of carefully forming it into that shape. We don't want it to fall apart, but there again, we don't want to overhandle it because, you know, I really like to have a really tasty Salisbury steak that is not going to be too dense. I don't like it really dense myself. Okay, so there's the next one. Now, you know, you could do this with ground turkey or ground chicken. It's not going to be traditional the way that they make it traditionally, and though some folks don't necessarily like to eat ground beef. Maybe you're not a beef eater, which is fine. So you can use those other products if you like. There again, that looks pretty good. I'm going to turn my burner on, and we're going to heat that up. I'm going to use my Dutch oven today, so I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. If you have a Dutch oven, oh, I love that Dutch oven more than a crock pot or anything else, because to me, you just can't beat that really good flavor of letting something simmer. Okay, so while we're waiting for this Dutch oven to heat up so that we can get those Salisbury steaks in there to cook, let me just go over one thing really quick. It really doesn't take that long to make this particular recipe homemade, and I'll tell you, it is so good. It's much more flavorful than going out to fast food, frankly, and it's more of a wholesome meal. I'm going to serve it with mashed potatoes today, but really what I'm going to do with most of this today, you know what, there are days you just don't feel like doing any cooking at all. Just take it out, let it sit on the counter for about half an hour, and then pop it in the microwave and reheat it, and it reheats really well. So please let me know what you think, and if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I'd appreciate it if you did. You can hit the subscribe button, and right below that is a little bell, and if you click on that, it lets you know when I upload my videos. There you have it. It's just super simple down-home cooking, and we're going to be expanding maybe a little bit and doing some other things, but that's what we're focused on right now. And it looks like our pan is just about ready, so let's get going on this. We're going to put some olive oil in here because you know I love to cook with olive oil, and I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons in there. Okay, then I'm going to take my spatula, and we are going to place our Salisbury steaks in our Dutch oven. And what we're going to do is we're going to brown these on both sides, and then we're going to remove them, and then we'll make our gravy. I'm going to get 3 in there to start. Really don't want to crowd that pan, so let's just start off with 3. I just did a video with fried rice, and that was a requested video, and I've done another one with navy beans and ham, and those aren't very long videos, either one of them, because they're pretty easy to throw together. But if you're new to cooking or you've never made it before, you know, I want to try to help you and make it a little easier for you. Now, the temperature I have these cooking on is about a medium high. So I guess I forgot to tell you that part of it, but it's on a medium high. So let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and turn that over. See, we didn't let them get too awfully dark because we don't want it to burn, obviously. There we go. You might need to be kind of careful that they don't fall apart if you're being gentle about the mixing, because you want these nice and tender. I'm telling you, you guys, they're so good. I think these have probably almost, like I said, you got to be real careful that they don't fall apart on you. because they will. If they can, they will. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take these out. And I'm just going to put them right back on the plate that we have them on. The reason I'm doing that is because they're not finished cooking. And we're going to finish cooking them in the sauce that we're going to make. Sorry, my mashed potatoes are getting a little crazy over here, if you can hear that. I just turned them down. This one is kind of struggling. Okay, so next we're going to go in with some flour. And I'm using a 1/3 cup measure, but I don't think we're going to use that much. We'll see. If it looks like you need to add a little more oil, this is the point where you'd go ahead and do that. You want to make sure that your flour is not too dry because it needs to still continue to brown. And make sure as you're doing this that you're scraping all those little brown bits off the bottom because, oh my goodness, there's a ton of flavor in there. Now at this point, I mean, before you even put the flour in, if you want to add onion or mushrooms to this, that's when you put them in. You go ahead and brown your onions or make them a little translucent, or you put your mushrooms in for about a minute. Then you add your flour. But we're going to just go with a basic brown gravy sauce. So we want to just make sure we cook about a minute the flour. Make sure we don't have any of that flour taste. I'm using Better Than Bouillon, and I just had about 2½ teaspoons in the jar. So I added some warm water to make sure I get all that goodness. And I'm going to pour that in here to make our sauce with. And I'll probably add some more water to that as well because that's going to be pretty strong. So I've got about three cups of broth altogether in there at this point. And there again, adjust it to however you need it. If you want more, make more. If you want less, okay, you can do less. But I think this is about the right amount for what we have here. Once we get this flour kind of cooking in, then we're going to go ahead and give a little taste of this sauce and make sure that we're exactly where we want to be. Then we'll add our Salisbury steaks back in to let them finish cooking. And there's our gravy. Let's taste that and see what that's like, shall we? Oh, that's absolutely perfect. Okay, so we're going to put these back in here and we are going to let them simmer on low and finish cooking on low. If you're just using 1 pound of hamburger or ground beef, then I say that 1/3 of breadcrumb is enough. There we go. Now we're just going to let those simmer and finish cooking in our sauce. And oh, what a good sauce that is. Let's let that simmer. And I'd say we're going to let it simmer for about 15 minutes. And then they'll be done. And I'm going to show you how it came out. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and plate this up. This is our Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes, and I used the gravy over the top. Looks wonderful. We're going to give that a try. It smells absolutely delicious. So we're going to take just a little bit of mashed potato with that first bite. This is absolutely delicious. The Dijon mustard really gives it a great flavor. It's not boring. There's nothing boring about this. It has a lot of flavor. It's rich. This is definitely comfort food at its finest. So listen, if you guys have never made homemade Salisbury steak, give this a try. It's super easy, super delicious, great dinner. So if you guys haven't done this, give it a try. It is absolutely wonderful. All right, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.